Hi, this is Meghla, and I'm going to start today with this coordinate geometry class. So, in coordinate geometry, which is meant for the placement, it's just going to be the basics of this line equation, slope, midpoint, or the distance between the 2 points. So, these are the basic things which you're going to see. Beyond this, it is not required for the placement, but in case that is required, then we can go for the next class because this is not the end. There are a lot of things to be learned in coordinate geometry, and the fundamental I'm going to do it in this class. The quadrants. So coordinate geometry, basically it has like 4 quadrants, and we can say that this is like one of the axes, that is x-axis, the other one is y-axis, and the midpoint is origin, that's 0. And here is going to be both positive, that is x and y both are going to be positive. And in this quadrant, you know that x is negative and y is positive. Therefore, this is negative and positive. In the third quadrant, both are going to be negative. And in the fourth one, your x is positive and y is negative. So this is the basic thing. For example, if I say minus 5, 2, your x is negative and y is positive, that should be in the second quadrant, and so on. The next. The slope. Slope, you know that if any line is there, like straight line, or the line can be this way, or line can be this way, or line can be this way. So these are all like the line, how much it is inclined with respect to the ground level or the x-axis is what is called slope. So normally we measure that in the form of like a formula, that is change in y value by change in x value. So change in y value is like you have with respect to this, you can say, or we can also say that it's like y distance by x distance. So we can say this particular thing is a vertical distance, that is called y distance, and this particular line is called x distance. And also we can say when the line is horizontal to the ground, like the slope is not there. It's like an inclination with respect to the ground level. So when it is parallel to the ground level, or if it is straight this way, then we can say the slope is 0. When it is perpendicular, you cannot define that. We can just slope is infinite. So as it goes up gradually, like here from here, when it goes up like this, the slope keep increasing, and it goes to the highest level when it is perpendicular. Similarly, when you have the line in the other direction, when you see the inclination from this side, then we say it is a negative slope. So all this is not very important here. If it is for GRE or GMAT, definitely this is required. But for the placement, they don't test in this. You just have to understand that when from the left hand side to right hand side, if it is increasing, it is a positive slope. But if it is the other way decreasing, then it is a negative slope. That's it. Next. The next one, what you have is about the y-intercept. Though we have also the x-intercept, but we generally write in one form. So when you write the equation of the line, which is nothing but y equal to mx plus c, you can see here it is mentioned here, y equal to mx plus b, sorry. Y is c or b, whatever you say, that doesn't matter. So here, this point is called y-intercept, which is here, and this mx. M is nothing but the slope. So slope, just now we saw that it can be like positive or negative or anything else. So this is an equation of the line. For any line, definitely the linear equation will be there. So this is a linear equation for that. When the two lines are parallel to each other, then you can say with respect to the ground level, the inclination is same, therefore the slopes are same. So m1 is equal to m2. So here you have this equation, two equations are given. You can see that mx plus b, where m is 1 by 2. So here also is 1 by 2. And how to calculate that? That is also you have to know that like you can see, like I can take randomly any place. Suppose I consider this particular distance. This is 1. That's a vertical distance. This particular distance is 2. Irrespective of the negative or positive, I'm just considering the distance. So it's going to be y distance by x distance. Normally slope we say as y distance by x distance. Here normally we say the slope is y distance by x distance. So you can see here, like you have y distance as 1 and x distance as 2. So 1 by 2 is the slope which is mentioned here. Perpendicular lines will have the product of the slopes as equal to -1. So you can see here m1 into m2 is going to be minus 1 in this case, whereas m1 is one of the slope here, m2 is another slope here. So here you can see the values also mentioned here. Half is a slope here and minus 2 is a slope here. So when you multiply half into minus 2, you are getting minus 1. That's the answer. That means these two lines are parallel to each other. The next comes your distance formula. Distance formula, again, we are only applying this Pythagoras theorem. So Pythagorean theorem is like you have a line here. You are just taking 2 points and then you draw a vertical line and a horizontal line. You can see this is becoming a triangle. And what do you mean by x minus, like suppose we consider these 2 points. Sorry. We consider these 2 points. If I say this particular point B is x2, y2, and particular point A is x1, y1. So when you have this, you can see that this particular distance, whenever you have this vertical line, the x value is going to be always same. So the x2 will come here. Similarly, horizontal line, your y will be same. So this is going to be y1. So when you want to take this difference, it's nothing but y2 minus y1. And when you want to take this x difference here, it's going to be x2 minus x1. That is what is mentioned here. So Pythagoras theorem says that a square is equal to b square plus c square. A square equal to b square plus c square. So you can see here the same thing. This is A and this is B, this is C. So in that way, when you consider, it's like the formula says squaring this and squaring this, root of that gives you the value of between AB. That's a distance. Okay, the formula again here we are applying here. The 2 points are given. So x difference is like 3 minus 1 is 2. Y difference is 4 minus 1 is 3. So the two values what you have is 2 and 3. Squaring them will be 2 square plus 3 square is nothing but 4 plus 9, which is 13. And AB square is equal to 13. Therefore, AB is nothing but root 13. That's what is given here. Next is about the section formula. Section formula and midpoint formula. So the section formula is like when you have the line here, the line, you have the points P1 and P2 in the line, and then you have one small point in between that is called point P, which is going to divide the entire line into different parts in the ratio for m is to n. So this distance may be m and this distance may be n. So in that case, you can just find the point. So the point P, if you have to find out, you just have to consider the two ratios given here. This is a formula. This m into x2 plus n into x1 divided by m plus n. So this is m actually. Similarly for y also, you're going to consider the same way. M into y2 plus n into y1 divided by m plus n. So this is the formula. Let it be wherever it is, but you can find out this value. And the same thing, in case if I say this is a midpoint, you know m equal to n, or you can say the ratio is 1:1. So when you apply that 1:1 here, that is 1 plus 1 is 2, and this is x1 plus x2. So then that becomes your midpoint formula. That's what is given here. x1 plus x2 by 2, y1 plus y2 by 2. So you can just apply the values 1, 4 and 5, 6 is given. Just add the two x values 1 plus 5 by 2. Similarly, y values 4 plus 6 by 2. So that is how you're getting 3, 5 is the answer. With this, I'm completing this coordinate geometry basics. Maybe the later stage, we can go for the advanced level. Thank you.